Right, let's talk about a few fun facts on differences between crocodiles and alligators. Most people tend to know the difference in the head structure, or they know there's a difference, they might not know the specifics. So let's just have a look at that. From the top here, you can actually see that in general the crocodiles have a more pointed snout, sort of tapers to a point, whereas that of the alligators is a little bit more rounded. There's also fundamental differences in the teeth. Now, often which I'll get to in a second, but there's often a little bit of a constriction just behind the nose in the crocodiles, and you can actually see this tooth sticking up over here. You can see it on this side over here as well. The fourth tooth either side tends to stick out above or outside the lip and onto the upper jaw. Just behind the sort of nose bulb, you can actually see the nostrils over here. You can see the nostrils in the alligator. Now this one's got its mouth open, but you can actually see there's no large fourth tooth either side. It's all pretty much similar sort of sizes, and it's not going to project beyond the upper jaw. And if you see here, the reason being is that the lower jaw is actually a little bit narrower than the top jaw. Now in the crocodiles, they're very, very similar width. So if you have a look at the teeth when a crocodile's got its mouth closed, you can actually see it's like a zipper. They sort of interlock, quite a few of the teeth sticking outside of the lip line, but you can really see all the teeth all the way along. Now this mouth is open, like I said, but at the end of the day, when the alligator closes its mouth, the teeth are pretty much hidden. You don't really see anything on the sides. The upper lip tends to cover over the lower lip, and the reason for that, like I said earlier, is that the jawline of the alligator is slightly different. If you have a look at it now, you can actually see it's a little bit narrower at the bottom than it is on the upper side. But what I want to point out now is you can actually see these tiny little holes. Trying to get to them there. You can see these holes just on the inside of the tooth line. This is the upper jaw, remember. So there's got these little holes on the inside of that, which basically house the lower jaw when the mouth is closed. So you've got these projections, basically meaning that there's nowhere for the teeth to go, the lower teeth to actually go when the mouth is closed. So they actually slot into those little indentations on the upper jaw, which means that when the mouth is closed, you don't actually see those teeth. Other differences between alligators and crocodiles, generalizing, is that crocodiles tend to have functional salt glands in the mouth, along the tongue and the mouth lining, which allows them to extract salts from saline water, and allows them to actually colonize, or at least move into areas that are slightly saline, marine estuaries and salty areas. Some of them actually swimming out to oceanic islands and things like that, whereas the alligator don't have functional salt glands. They're vestigial, they're no longer operational, so they tend to avoid saline watering areas. And then crocodiles, you'll see all over the skin of the crocodile. I'm not really going to see it here, but on the skin cells of the or the scales of the skin, if you want to call them that, all over the body, they have little dots which are actually sensors which pick up on movement and other things, helping them to detect movement in the water and prey and enemies and so on. And they only have those on the head area of the alligator, whereas in the crocodile, like I said, they're all over the entire body. A new finding that's sort of coming to light now, hasn't really been verified, and it might just be very, very subtle, or in some populations, not others, is they're finding that in skeletal studies they're doing, that the humerus and the femur of crocodiles tends to be slightly longer on average than that of alligators, which might allow them to articulate the legs and move slightly differently, slightly more able to develop into a gallop, if you like, on land, and move a little bit quicker and cover bigger distances more effectively. But that's something that is yet to be proven. But otherwise, very interesting to see these general differences in the heads as well.